The top stories tonight in Y News. Starting Monday, the number coding scheme will be re-implemented in Metro Manila and will include the morning rush hours. Malacanang is now investigating the unauthorized signing of an order allowing the importation of additional sugar supply in the country. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. claims that work is already underway to establish the nation's virology center. Sports and track legend Lydia De Vega passes away after a 4-year battle with breast cancer. Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Thursday, August 11, 2022. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. I am Harleen Delgado. We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media accounts. First in the news. A lawmaker in the upper chamber wants the alleged overpriced and outdated laptops procured by the Department of Education through the procurement service of the Department of Budget and Management, or PSDBM, be investigated in the Senate. Senate Minority Leader Aquilino Coco Pimentel III filed Senate Resolution number 120 directing the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee to conduct an inquiry on the issue in aid of legislation. The senator says the probe aims to identify accountability and make changes to the government procurement laws and processes if found necessary. Another minority lawmaker, Senator Risa Hontiveros, is also set to file a similar resolution on the matter. The lawmaker notes that the inquiry is within the purview of the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee, and they look forward to the committee calling in the PSDBM officials in the proceedings. She adds the characters from the Family Mess seem to be reprising what she calls their earlier villain roles in the anomalies flagged by the Commission on Audit. The top officials of the PSDBM during the Duterte administration was previously investigated by the Blue Ribbon Committee of the 18th Congress in connection with the alleged questionable deals entered by the government for the procurement of COVID-19 medical supplies. A new definition of fully vaccinated individuals is being proposed to the Office of the President by the Department of Health. JP Nunez will tell us why.
The population's immunity is continuing to wane as a result of the rise in Omicron subvariant cases. Hence, the Department of Health is proposing to include the first booster shot in the definition of fully vaccinated.
Kailangan pag-aralan maigi. Because if we redefine our fully vaccinated to include the first boosters, we need to think of the other sectors also.
Currently, the Health Department believes that requiring a first booster would take a long period of time. According to Health Officer in Charge Maria Rosario Vergere, the government should first make vaccines easily accessible for all Filipinos.
We cannot say that if we redefine, we say that tomorrow redefined na yan. Maraming hindi makakapasok sa mga establishmento, maraming hindi makakapasok sa kanilang trabaho. Kailangan bigyan natin ng panahon yung ating mga kababayan na makakapagpa-booster sila within that given time, tsaka natin ipapatupad yung redefinition.
The Health Department's Pinas Lakas program is still ramping up booster vaccination in the Philippines, but only around 16 million of the almost 72 million people who have had all their vaccinations are being boosted. JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Amid the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. promised to support the health research community in the country. In fact, the president claims that work is already underway to establish the nation's virology center. Nel Maribohok has the story.
President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. reiterated his commitment to establish an environment that will foster research in the nation by advancing important proposed laws in the healthcare sector.
As your president, I hope that my presence here today gives a clear signal that this administration continues to support your endeavors so that together we can create an enabling environment for the Filipino research community that fosters collaboration and cooperation that will yield solutions that will make lives better for our fellow men and women.
The President made this remark while he was attending the 50th celebration of the Philippines National Health Research System in Clark Freeport Zone, Pampanga. President Marcos mentioned how the immediate passage of a measure creating Virology Institute of the Philippines would consolidate disparate research, knowledge, and data.
So I'm sure you know, I have presented to the Congress, both houses of Congress, the proposed creation of the Virology Center of the Philippines, and so that we can consolidate in a better way all of the disparate research, all the different sources of knowledge, all the different sources of research and new data. We can put it together and be more coordinated as opposed to what we had to work with during the pandemic.
While the passage of a bill creating the Philippine Center for Disease Prevention and Control would prepare the country for unfortunate warnings concerning pandemics, according to the President. At the event, the Chief Executive commended the nation's health researchers for their unparalleled commitment to aiding the nation's pandemic response. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue, we serve the people, we give glory to God.
And for the news abroad, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un said that the nation had won its fight against COVID following the lifting of the maximum anti-epidemic measures imposed in May of this year. Joselito Liquido will tell us why live. Yes, Joselito?
Programs, Pyongyang declared victory over COVID-19 with the country's reliance on lockdowns, homegrown medicine treatments, and an advantageous Korean-style socialist system as described by Kim Jong-un. The announcement came with the leader's sister Kim Yo-jong revealing that Kim Jong-un was seriously ill with high fever, indicating that the young leader might also have been infected. She also blamed the spread of the pandemic on North Korean defectors and activists living in the South that are sending anti-Pyongyang leaflets to the North through balloons along with food, medicine, money, and other items, which they have been doing for decades. As for the pandemic's severity, North Korea has never confirmed how many people caught the virus, claiming that they lack in testing supplies. Instead, they reported daily numbers of fever patients totaling to 4.77 million. They have not registered any new cases since July 29, which the World Health Organization has since casted their doubts back in June. Marielle?
Thank you, Joselito Liquido, for that live report. Health authorities in China are monitoring the spread of a new animal-derived virus after reports of more than 24 infections. Nerissa Dando will give us the details live. Yes, Nerissa, please go ahead.
Good evening, Marielle. The novel Langya henipavirus, or live, was first detected in late 2018, but was only officially identified last week after a sudden surge in cases, now up to a total of 35, according to Taiwan Center for Disease Control, or CDC. The formal identification was highlighted through a correspondence written by a team of 12 scientists from China, Singapore, and Australia, and published in the New England Journal of Medicine on August 4. In a test of 25 wild animal species, live's genetic materials was predominantly detected in shrews, leading the team to suggest that small mole-like mammals are a natural reservoir for the virus. The newly named virus belongs to the same family or zoonotic RNA viruses that includes the Hendra and Nipah virus, which can be contracted through exposure with sick horses, pigs, and bats. Both have been associated with high fatality rates ranging from 40 to 75%, with the Henipa virus classified by the WHO as a biosafety level 4 threat. Professor Francois Balou, though not involved with the study, assures that this should not be a source of panic like the COVID-19 pandemic, but calls for better preparation against pathogens that come from animal populations. The researchers, along with the CDC Deputy Director General Chuan Zhenchang, said officials have not yet reported any human-to-human transmission of the Langya virus and that the 35 patients have not had close contact with each other. CDC is focusing on investigating potential routes of transmission and is seeking to establish a standardized nucleic acid testing method fast to identify the virus. Marielle?
Nerissa, what are the symptoms of the Langya virus and are there any vaccines available against it?
Marielle, Langya infections have so far been comparatively mild, with patients presenting with symptoms that include fever, headache, cough, vomiting, appetite loss, muscle aches, and fatigue. Several also develop blood cells abnormalities and signs of liver and kidney damage. There have been no deaths from life to date, while there is currently no approved vaccine against any of the henipavirus for humans. Back to you, Marielle.
Thank you, Nerissa Dando, reporting live.
The number coding system will be reintroduced by the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority to include the morning rush hours. This will be implemented days before the school reopening. Asher Kadapan Jr. gives us the details why.
Studies show that the current volume of traffic in Metro Manila will increase to 13% once the face-to-face classes resume. Based on the data gathered by the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, the current daily average number of vehicles plying EDSA is almost reaching the pandemic level, which is about 400,000. But it may increase to 436,000 upon school opening. With this, the local chief executives in the National Capital Region expand the current number coding scheme to alleviate congestion.
So kung maalala yung 400,000, nag-i-implement na po tayo ng number coding before. Ngayon po we are expecting 436. So that is why we asked the council to approve to bring back the number coding scheme ng 7 to 10 in the morning and 5 to 8 in the afternoon and evening.
Effective August 15, 2022, the number coding scheme takes effect in all roads in Metro Manila from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. and from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Within the said hours, vehicles with plate number ending in 1 and 2 are prohibited in roads on Mondays, 3 and 4 on Tuesdays, 5 and 6 on Wednesdays, 7 and 8 on Thursdays, and 9 and 10 on Fridays. The traffic scheme, however, is suspended during weekends and holidays. Vehicles exempted in traffic scheme include public utility vehicles including tricycles, transport network vehicle services, motorcycles, garbage trucks, fuel trucks, marked government vehicles, fire trucks, ambulances, marked media vehicles, and motor vehicles carrying essential and or perishable goods.
Public awareness po muna tayo with the number coding on August 15, 16, and 17. Hindi po tayo manghuhuli, magre-remind lang po kami. But on the 18th, tuloy-tuloy na po yun. Maniniket na po tayo.
Asher Kadapan Jr., UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Local government officials in the province of Abra requested that the Department of Education postpone the start of classes in certain schools that were badly damaged by the magnitude 7 earthquake last month. Janice and Henta reports.
A magnitude 7 earthquake on July 27 caused total damage to more than 621 classrooms in 421 schools in Luzon. Abra province has the most affected school building damages. Due to the aftermath left by the quake in schools, Abra LGUs wishes to delay school opening to give more time for the preparation of local government units and schools in the province to ensure student safety. Mayor Joseph J.B. Bernos, president of the Mayor's League of Abra, reports that they have asked for an extension of 1 month to establish the severely affected schools.
Hindi naman lahat. Parang selective lang. There are certain schools na kung pwede i-postpone kahit 1 month. Kasi tinutulungan ng mga LGUs yung mga eskwelahan na i-repair yung mga nasira. Request lang naman ito kung pwede. Yun yung gusto ng mga mayors.
Earlier, DepEd stated that classes will continue in earthquake-affected areas using a blended learning approach. On Wednesday, DepEd spokesperson Michael Powa said funds for the temporary learning spaces in Abra province have already been downloaded and guidelines will soon be issued.
The maximum amount to be spent for each TLS as per guidelines would be 180,000 pesos. Doon naman po sa labor, doon sa pagtatayo ng mga TLS, ang direktiba po namin is makipagtulungan tayo sa DSWD, sa mga LGUs, sa AFP, in those areas, na kung pwede, tulungan po tayo para di na tayo maglabas pa ng pera doon sa labor cost.
Janice Enhente, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Bureau of Jail Management and Penology, or BJMP, supports the proposal to install signal jammers within their jail facilities. Meanwhile, the BJMP is hoping that the national government would give the project priority. Dante Almento tells us why.
Department of the Interior and Local Government, or DILG Secretary Benhur Abalos Jr. believes signal jammers are required to stop the activities of big-time drug lords in jails. They are suspected of running their drug trade on mobile phones. To make jail facilities healthy and drug-free, the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology, or BJMP, supports this proposal. However, the Bureau acknowledges that the budgetary issue is their problem. They thus ask that this endeavor be given top priority by the national government.
Importante yan kasi kung yan din yung isa sa mga makatutulong talaga para ma-prevent natin yung possible communications with the PDL and possibly yung kanilang mga contacts sa labas. Napakagandang ideya nun and we fully support it. Kaya lang, second step nito, of course, yung funding requirements dyan. So we do hope sana mabigyan po ng priority ito ng national government.
BJMP spokesperson Superintendent Xavier Solda added they are also in full support of the DILG's pronouncement to conduct random drug tests for BJMP personnel and persons deprived of liberty in jail facilities.
And should there be kahit isa lang na personnel na magkaroon talaga ng or magpositibo sa illegal na droga, hindi namin yan patatawarin. They don't deserve to be in the service.
According to BJMP data, out of the 477 prisons nationwide, 262 have already achieved drug-free status and 40 are drug-cleared. Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Oil exports from Russia via a crucial pipeline to many European nations have resumed. Paul Gatchalian will tell us why live. Yes, Paul?
Mariel, after several days of shipment delay, Russian oil started to pump through the European countries Slovakia and Hungary. Slovakian Economy Minister Richard Sulik made several announcements on Facebook updating shipment status. The complications relating to the sanctions imposed by the European Union affected transactions as a Western Europe bank that was not named refused to transfer money, causing Ukraine to halt shipments. However, Minister Sulik stated that payments by Slovnaft, which is owned by Hungary's small energy group, now went through, covering both shipments to Slovakia and Hungary but not the Czech Republic. Meanwhile, the Czech Republic's Industry and Trade Minister Josef Sikela has informed the public that the nation will work together with Poland in search for solutions to resume the shipment of oil to the country. Back to you, Mariel.
Paul, how will the sanctions against Russia's oil shipment progress throughout the year?
Well, Mariel, the European leaders have made it known in May that by the end of the year, an official ban to Russian oil brought in by sea will be implemented. However, the oil shipments delivered through the Druzhba line will continue temporarily as they supply Central Europe. Back to you, Mariel.
Thank you, Paul Gatchalian, for that live report. Doctors in Canada are calling for stricter regulations around purchasing sodium nitrate, a synthetic curing salt used in food preservation. Sodium nitrate can be easily purchased in grocery stores and online sites like Amazon. Miguel Maldez will tell us why.
Residents in Canada are consuming excess amounts of a food preservative for self-harm. Otherwise known as NaN03, sodium nitrate is commonly found in many foods such as lunch meat, bacon, hot dogs, ham, and smoked fish. Researchers and doctors have discovered it is now a popular means for suicide after investigating online forums and pathology reports. According to their findings, the province of Ontario saw 23 sodium nitrate deaths in 2019 and 2020. All were deemed as self-harm. The concerning trend has also been reported in New Zealand and the United States. In the US, 47 cases of intentional sodium nitrate poisoning were reported from 2015 to 2020, most of which happened between 2019 and 2020. Health experts recommend that only companies that use sodium nitrate for food processing should be allowed to order it in bulk. Right now, there are no regulations on the preservative. Any individual in Canada can purchase as much as they like without any restrictions. Miguel Maldez, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
After being lifted by rescuers in order to be transported to a saltwater basin in Normandy, the 4-meter-long beluga whale that was stranded in Seine River in France has died. The white mammal was about to be driven 160 kilometers in a refrigerated truck. However, the whale started having breathing problems during the rescue operation. As a result, experts decided to euthanize the underweight creature. The whale, which weighed 800 kilograms, was discovered to be a male. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. I am Maria Latoza reporting live from Perth, Australia. Good evening.
An investigation is underway for officials who signed a resolution permitting the importation of 300,000 metric tons of sugar without the consent of the acting agricultural head, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Press Secretary Trixie Cruz Angeles stated that it is illegal to issue such a decision.
An investigation is ongoing to determine whether any acts that would cause the president to lose trust and confidence in his officials can be found, or if there is malice or negligence involved. In such a case, if such findings are made, then the only determination left will be how many heads are going to roll.
Angeles added that it should have been taken into consideration if such importation will affect the harvest and the prices of local growers. Our Kasangbahay. As the world faces these trying times amid the pandemic caused by coronavirus, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity from Monday to Friday, 9:30 p.m. Philippine time through the social media accounts of Members Church of God International. And before we close, we will leave you with a word, giving glory to God. From the book of Luke, chapter 16, verse 13, it says, "No servant can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve God and mammon." The reasons behind the news, August 11, 2022. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. I am Harleen Delgado. Because we need to know, we will always ask why. We serve the people, we give glory to God.